Hi, this is Professor Wood. I've discovered a revolutionary new way of converting those horrible, horrible people, the atheists. Send them to hell. Yes. So I'll be now presenting my brilliant idea, and I hope I'll get backing from lots of different companies such as crucifix manufacturers and things like that. One of the major problems facing many religions of today is the one of the unbelievers. In Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, the Old Testament is an important base for beliefs. This is the foundation of all three. In this sacred text, the most widely known story is that of the Garden of Eden. This entirely believable tale is the culmination of the intelligence and level-headedness of man in the face of the unknown. It's entirely logical to believe that the Earth is only a few thousand years old and the center of the universe, especially now with all evidence in favor of it. Indoctrination, of course, does not exist, because people everywhere obviously come to the same conclusion. God created the world. In no way do the numerous religions of the world instruct anyone on what to believe. But there are always some blasphemous who refuse to convert to the true faith, whichever that may be. Thankfully, my new invention solves this problem, and will make even the most hardened atheists surrender irrational beliefs. My reasoning before creating this new technique is that if you really think about religion, it's obvious how intelligent and logical it is. But what happens if you take away the parts of the brain that permit logical thought? Miraculously, the person starts believing. This must be because the person reverts back to their innermost caveman, and therefore can be more in touch with their spiritual side. And the 90% lobotomy is necessary to restrict enough brain power to fully succeed. The way this can be done is simple. If we take a look at the different functions of the sections of the brain, or lobes. As you can see, there are 6 major parts of the brain: the frontal lobe, the temporal lobe, the occipital lobe, and the parietal lobe, brainstem, and the cerebellum. Each has multiple functions. I'm obviously simplifying this a great deal. The frontal lobe deals mostly with the environment and the responses needed to adapt to a specific one. Part of the memory is contained in the frontal lobe. I've decided to chop this off. Since to worship God there is no need to react to anything outside of the subject's own head. The temporal lobe contains the majority of the memory and the audio senses. Neither is needed. The occipital lobe gives the ability to see, which is unnecessary, since God should not be depicted. The parietal lobe permits the subject to specialize in certain tasks and is linked to touch senses, and therefore controls manipulation of objects. In a divine wonderland, this is useless. Now, I come to the parts we will keep. Brainstem controls the automatic actions. For example, breathing, heartbeat, etc. So it needed to conserve the life of the patient. The cerebellum is kept only because it is needed for reflex actions, such as praying. If this technique is used, then the patients will be converted into perfect believers. Their entire mental capacity will be concentrated on a few imperative religious practices. The ability to say, I love God. Putting their hands together in a gesture of supplication. And lastly, and most importantly, being able to take their credit cards out and make a sizable donation to the church. This technique has already been tested on a number of volunteers who have turned out very well. Finally, I just want to say that I am pleased to be able to do my part in the spread of coherency in the world. For those who don't understand, that was a joke. I don't actually believe that most religious people are stupid. Only a few. Could say there's less stupid atheists, but just because there's less atheists. Okay, the whole part about the brains, that was just to make it look more scientific. I know it's complete bollocks, but I don't know anything about it. brain. Okay, hope you enjoyed. See you.